Hey, everybody. It is Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock Central Time, and I am Dr. John Sherk, and that means it is time for Brown Bag Lunch, where I give you tips, tricks, ideas, paradigms, and all manner of advice to help you thrive in your business, whether it's recruiting technicians, whether it's just being happy, everything in between, great margins, all those things. So, today, what we're talking about is recruiting talent because that is the topic for a while. Um, there's really only two topics right now in the air conditioning business. For some people who are at a certain phase, how do I get the phone to ring is a topic. But beyond that, it's all about supply chain and talent right now. So we're going to lean heavier into the um, talent issue. Although y'all reach out to me if you want me to prepare some stuff for you on supply chain, I can do that as well. So with the talent, you've heard me say before that if you listen to these at all, you've heard me say before that the social contract that goes into recruiting people has changed. Okay. As little as 7 or 8 years ago, the sort of assumptions in the arrangement that went into hiring went something like this. There's a person with skills who are saying to themselves and to you on some level, I need a job. And you're saying to them, I need to hire somebody. And that alignment creates a conversation that leads to hiring and a kind of relationship forms in which both parties win. All right. And it's hard to fully articulate all of the reality, all of the detail that go with having that assumption, right? Now, the problem with the change is today, in 99 out of 100 cases, there's still small exceptions, but in 99 out of 100 cases, the people that you would want to hire already have a job. So now there are plenty of folks, and I bump into them. I talk to technicians every day. There are plenty of them who say, "Look, I have a job, but I'm always looking for the next good thing." And so, okay, that's there's some things implied by that as well, but that's okay. I mean, so it's still there. But fundamentally, the idea that we're looking for someone who needs a job is not any longer true in the recruiting formula, nor will it be for quite some time. Okay. So, what do we do? Well, we have to begin to understand how to have a conversation with a prospect that doesn't need a job, but you want them to come work for you. Right. Now, I hope just saying it that way helps you understand the monumental shift that represents. How do you talk to someone who doesn't need your job and persuades them to come to work for you anyway? Okay. Well, at the core of that conversation, there's a few things you need. One, you have to have a developed understanding of what makes life great for a technician. And you have to be doing that at your company. And so when I say get into a conversation with a technician, I've noticed as I get feedback because I have a lot of one-on-one conversations with my clients, and they'll say, well, what do you mean by having, we're talking about the NBA playoffs? Like, what are we talking about? And I'm saying, no, I want to engage a technician in a conversation about what I think makes life great for a technician. What do they think makes life great for a technician? And what are the gaps? And fundamentally, you don't have to be perfectly aligned. What's going to catch their ear is just the fact that you have this as an ongoing thought process. This topic is something you're thinking about, you're reading about. You consider it part of your personal, professional, developmental curve to have a point of view for how to own and operate a company that's technician friendly. I would consider this for anybody who's savvy. I would make this your number one agenda. If you're an owner or a principal manager of an air conditioning company, what is it that makes life great for a technician, and how are we making that happen here? Now, that's a hub with a million spokes off of it, right? So that includes everything from in-house kind of stuff to supporting what they want to get done, to hearing what they say is frustrating and relieving that frustration. There's all kinds of pieces there. But when you're in the recruiting conversation, there's a central piece that you're looking for, and that is, what problem do they have that gets solved by coming to work for you? Now, obviously, if it's a problem they currently have, it's not getting solved where they currently work. Now, this is your bridge. This is your on-ramp to potentially recruiting them. All right. Now, let me say it again. If you're having a recruiting conversation with a technician, you need to become aware of a problem that they have that gets solved by coming to work for you. Now, over time, I'm going to drill down on this in a minute, but over time, you'll begin to realize you can't solve every problem, right? So what you're going to begin to do as a company is decide what niche, excuse me, what niche kinds of problems are you going to just murder at solving those problems. Nobody in town can even look in your general direction without keeling over because you solved that problem so completely. But this other one over here, you don't solve that problem. That's going to be somebody else's issue. So, for example, one of the big retention issues these days, in fact, the number one, when surveyed, the number one point of retention are benefits, right? So here's what I would coach you to do with benefits. On the one hand, either make the investment in having the best benefits in town, or number two, don't offer them at all. If you have over 50 employees and you're in the U.S., there's some taxes you have to pay if you don't offer anything. But if you're under 50 employees, you could say, look, if this is the problem you want to solve. I'm not saying do one of these things. I'm saying if you do everything average, you're not going to catch the fish that you want, right? If you say, look, we don't do benefits, but we pay $60 an hour. Well, for someone whose wife has the insurance, this is going to sound really appealing. And if that's the track you want to use and you want to solve the problem that way, great. You're solving an income problem, not a benefits problem. So do you understand where I'm going with this, right? Understand what problems that they have that they want to solve and how you're aligning yourself to solve that problem, but you can't solve all of them. Okay. So as we get into which problem should I solve, I want to just give you some nuance specifically for that conversation. Again, I talk to technicians every day, and I've worked through this a little bit. And so when they get to what problems they have, there are 4 types of problems, right? Now, any one problem, let's say benefits, could land in any of these 4 categories. It isn't that kind of model. So it's really their perception of a problem that puts them in one of these 4 categories, okay? And there are 4 types. There's a latent problem, which is the problem they don't know they have. There's a passive problem, which is a problem they know they have, but they're avoiding solving it right now. It's not a priority to solve, but they know they have the problem. Third is an active problem that they know they have, and they're motivated to take action to solve it if they find a solution, right? Number 4, is a visionary problem, which is a problem they know they have, plus they have a vision for how to get that problem solved. Okay. Now, the problem, the solution, the problem that you're looking for is an active problem. If you're solving a problem that they don't even know they have, you're not going to recruit off of that conversation. I hope the reason for that is obvious. It's not resolving the cognitive dissonance created by having this problem. They don't have dissonance because they don't even know they have the problem, right? The passive problem, in some versions of conversation, you can bring it into an active problem by doing things like talking about the cost of inaction. Yeah, we don't have a great 401k program, but I'm only 41 and it's not a big concern for me yet. Well, here's the cost of inaction is that most of your retirement nest egg is going to come from what you put in now and multiplying over time, not what you put in the last 5 years. Okay. That's that kind of a conversation, helping a passive problem become active. If they have an active problem and you solve that problem, that's a slam dunk. You should be able to recruit that person. If that technician has an active problem, they know it, they're motivated to solve it, and it's not getting solved where they work, you should push hard on that button and solve that problem in the first 10 days that they're in the door. Bring them in, solve that problem, you got them. All right. Now, with the visionary problem, it can be a little more complicated. Oftentimes, when a technician has a visionary problem, their vision is to start their own company. So you have to talk about it. What is it about starting their own company that they want? You know what? I am so effing tired of being on call and doing overtime. Like I can't even. They're writing me just to be able to go to my daughter's birthday party. Like, can you get out of there right away? No, I can't. Sorry. And now, oh well, I thought you were on the team. Like, if that's the problem that they want to solve, and their vision is, I'm going to start my own company so I don't have that problem. You sure that problem gets solved by starting your own company? You sure? So working through the alignment of what gets that problem solved is what we're talking about. So the point is, across the board, the problem that you can recruit on successfully is an active problem, right? So that's where to go with your conversation and those technicians. If you're trying to recruit talent, you need to be able to engage in a conversation about your point of view and their point of view on what makes a great work environment, what makes a great company to work for if you're a technician, right? And then search for an active problem. And once you have an active problem, if that's one you can solve, now you have your bridge to go say, I'll have that problem solved for you by next Tuesday if you come work for me right now. Now you're having a recruiting conversation. And you're not getting lost in the mire. Forgive me, I'm not trying to call out anybody here, but this whole thing of nobody wants to work, everybody's lazy, I'm so over it. Everybody wants to work for somebody if they're well led. Everybody needs to pay their bills. No one is saying, oh, I'm just so lazy. That's a cop-out on the side of management. If you run your company the right way, you will have people who want to work for you. All right. But you got to pay the price and do it. And you can't cry like yesterday should have lasted forever, because yesterday is gone. The days of people needing a job are over. You now need to recruit someone who has an active problem and they want to come to work for you because of it. Okay. That's our time for this week. I do want to make one other comment that the reason this time is called Brown Bag Lunch is that I hope, as part of your schedule, you know, a lot of technicians, a lot of active owners, you know, they either have time waiting for something or have an actual lunch time where they're in their truck. And if you want to, you know, pick a day during the week and say, this is my brown bag lunch day, take your lunch, listen to this talk specifically during that time, get this picked up every week. And then it just naturally adds a personal growth component to the flow of your normal life and not having to sort of go to a seminar or something. And as you have any problems, especially active ones, that you feel like you need to get solved, please reach out to me, comment below, and I'll put together content for that. And honestly, we're looking at having guests and other things on this thing, evolving it into a podcast. So if there are problems that I don't know the solution to those problems, but you know, there's somebody you really respect, well, I'll have them on. We'll start doing kind of a dual thing as well, because the whole purpose, the only purpose of this podcast is to help you solve your active problems. All right. Listen, my name is John Sherk. This has been Brown Bag Lunch. I am here to help you excel and succeed. We'll see you next week.